One of the things I love when you share Jesus with people is you can literally see their lives change, sometimes right before your eyes. I had a couple of outreaches that started that way on Wednesday. We started off talking to this guy. My teammate was talking to him, and he was waiting for a ride, and he's kind of leaned up against the grocery store and, sort of slumped over. So she started talking to him, and it turns out he was on his way to treatment. She shares the gospel with him, and then he ends up praying to receive Christ right before he goes into treatment. So what a great beginning to the outreach and to his treatment program. In that same parking lot, we had an amazing encounter. This young woman came up to me, and I was handing out flyers for this food distribution that we were doing. And I asked if we could pray for her, and she's just in a really rough situation. She's living out of her car. She's not really familiar with this part of town. She used to live in a different part of the city. And so we prayed for her. And a few minutes later, she brings out her friend who's living in the same car with her. And I asked how I could pray for him, and immediately he started crying, and he was just fighting off tears. It took him a few seconds to even be able to answer. And so I prayed for him, prayed for the path ahead, and he was just dripping tears by the end. I gave him a big hug. I really encouraged them. I said, please come to our food distribution. We want to help you guys. So a couple hours later, we're standing there, and I was really hoping this couple would come, and they did finally show up. I'd been praying for them that they would make it, but we got to help them, give them a bunch of food. We got her a pair of shoes, and then we prayed again for the young man. And right after we prayed for him, my teammate just really felt led by the Holy Spirit to give him a bunch of cash. Now, I don't normally do this because when you give cash to people, you don't really know where it's going to. It could go to food, it could go to rent, or it could go to something that would hurt them, like drugs or alcohol or something like that. But my teammate really felt led by the Holy Spirit on this. So I see him handing him like a fistful of 20s, and this man is just bawling at this point. Also, at that same food distribution, we saw this man there, and it had been like 4 months since we had seen him last, and he's like, why did you stop sending me text notifications about your food distribution? And we're like, well, you haven't come. And he said, well, it's because I've been in treatment for 90 days. And so since we saw him last and got to pray for him, he's gotten treatment. He's sober now. He's got a place to live. And you can just tell this guy is full of joy. We were chatting for a little bit, and I, when I said goodbye to him, he just said, it's a good day to be sober. I did an outreach later that day at a Walmart, and it was really cool because the young woman I partnered with has been really investing in that place for a while, and it was a day of really deepening those relationships. The first woman we talked to is a Latino woman. She just really embraced us. She opened up like she never has before. We were able to hold hands and pray together right in the middle of her department. The second group we talked to, it was a man from Ghana who my teammate had connected with before, and he basically put his workday on pause to go and introduce us to his whole department of coworkers. And so he's already, even though our relationship with him is just a few weeks old, he's already wanting to work with us to do a Bible study at his job and invite all these Muslim coworkers that he has. The last girl we talked to is actually a Somali Muslim woman, and so my teammate really connected with her. They were hugging each other, smiles everywhere, and they actually exchanged phone numbers. And so we're looking forward to how that relationship is going to develop too. So it's really amazing. God is doing this kind of stuff all the time. If you're around in Minneapolis, once a month I join with the food distribution outreach in North Minneapolis on the last Wednesday of the month. Also on Wednesdays is this outreach with Bethany Global University. They're the ones hitting up this Walmart. And so if you're interested in joining me, hit me up. Otherwise, please be praying for us because it's awesome to be a part of what you see God doing. And when you pray for people who are doing evangelism, that's what you get, is you get to be a part of it. So God bless you guys. We'll talk to you soon.